Hi, I'm Irin from Hobbyist Letters. Today, we'll be learning the basics of brush calligraphy. You might have heard of calligraphy. There are a variety of subtypes to it. For example, we have traditional calligraphy, which is done using nib and ink in a very structured manner. Another common type of calligraphy is brush calligraphy, done using brush pen or paint brushes. Brush calligraphy is less structured and more lenient when it comes to the rules like spacing, angle, and etc. However, there are some basics to brush calligraphy. They are called basic strokes or drills. We can learn the 8 basic strokes of brush calligraphy today. Note that throughout the video, I might use the term calligraphy to indicate brush calligraphy. Before going to the topic, let's go over the materials we need to learn calligraphy. Let's start with the paper. I prefer to use a grid pad for practice as it already has some sort of guidelines we can follow. I will be using a Nightingale grid pad. Also, I prefer to tear the sheets and lay them down on the table rather than practicing directly on the pad because having the paper flat on the surface is a lot easier to work on. Now, over to the star of the show, brush pens. Brush pens come in small, medium and large sizes. The size comparison is based on the size of the tip. You can see this pen has a pretty large tip compared to the small one. Also, this is where the medium tip size brush comes in. For this video, I will be using a large tip pen. You can also follow along with any kind of brush tip. Just make sure to practice the strokes smaller or larger in accordance with your tip size. Other than paper and brush pens, you will need a pencil, an eraser and a scale, preferably a see-through one. Now let me give you a brief introduction to the guidelines used in calligraphy. So the line where our letters sit is the base line, as this line will serve as the base for the letters, literally. The X height is the height of our letters. Now, if I letter something, I can use these lines to decide where I should start my letter and where it should end. You would want to lay down a couple of these sets before starting to practice. As I mentioned earlier, there are 8 basic strokes in brush calligraphy and some additional variations. Let us focus on the 8 strokes first. So the first stroke is an upstroke because we are drawing a stroke upwards starting from the bottom line, meaning the base line. Now start from the baseline and draw a vertical line upward along the X height. Use the tip of the brush pen. So an upstroke starts from the baseline and goes up. You can also practice another variation of upstroke. Instead of drawing a vertical line, curve the line a bit. Just like the previous stroke, start from the baseline and curve the stroke a little to the right and reach the top line. It might take some time to get a smooth line, but don't give up and keep practicing. Next comes downstroke, the easiest stroke of all. You're going to start at the line at the top and come downward. Place the brush pen at the top line and press down so that you get approximately 75% of your brush tip in contact with the paper. Now push down smoothly until the line touches the base line. Now our next stroke will be the overturn. Overturns look like an inverted U. Start at the baseline and draw a thin stroke upward, and once you are about to reach the top line, curve to continue with the downstroke till you reach the baseline. Relax and exhale whenever you transition to a downstroke because the hardest part, getting an upstroke right, is done. One tip with these kind of strokes is to make the strokes parallel to one another. An underturn looks like a capital U. Remember to exhale during a downstroke. Start at the top line. When you are about to reach the baseline, transition from a downstroke to an upstroke. Continue with the upstroke till you reach the top line. That's it for now. We're all done with the basic strokes. Keep practicing and don't forget to inhale during a thin stroke and exhale on a thick one. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. I would be happy to help. Have a good day.